Today I am down at the River Thames. It's a little bit windy down here. As you can see, it's not particularly sunny, but it's quite a nice day. And I'm down in Putney. So this is where the boat race starts each year. You'll see Oxford and Cambridge getting into their boats and having a race to see who's the quickest out of those two universities. I'm not sure why there's only two universities allowed in that race, but there are. So I'm not here to talk about boats and the river. I'm actually here to talk about one of the best locations for a Wetherspoons in the country. So this is called the Rocket. And normally I would talk about the history of this building and the name itself, why it's called the Rocket. But as you can see, it's relatively new, this building. If I sort of pan up a bit, you can see that this is actually a whole lot of apartments that go right the way up. I don't know how many stories there are, probably 16, 17. So they've got great views over the Thames and they've got a great pub on the ground floor. And this was built in the 1990s, and originally there was a restaurant here called Rocket. So when Wetherspoons took it over, because that restaurant went bust, they decided to keep the name as the Rocket. So it doesn't really have any long-standing history, unlike a lot of the other sites. But this place is absolutely amazing in the summer, because as you can see, there are lots of tables outside and they go all the way around. If I just walk around here, this is on the Thames path, so I'm walking right next to the river, and there are tons of tables. So in the summer, this place is absolutely rammed with people standing outside, drinking, watching the boats going up and down on the river. So I'm here at the Rocket in Putney to check out what's going on in terms of lunch. So let's head on inside and see what it's all about. So here I am at my table inside the Rocket, and as usual, within 1 minute of ordering my drink on the app, it was delivered. So I've got a pint of Guinness. So, I mean, the service is incredibly good in all the Wetherspoons that I've been in. Really, really fantastic. Now, I've talked about this before. Before we get into the food and all of the details, we talked about Guinness, that one of the things in the UK, it might be worldwide, is splitting the G. So you can see the G on the Guinness glass. These are fairly standard. That people are trying to take their first drink and then leave the line of Guinness through the middle of the G. So it's called splitting the G. So I'm going to have a go at it. I tried it in a previous video. I failed. Let's see if I can do it today. Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Not perfect, but better than my last effort. So I'll have another go at that next time I have a pint of Guinness. It's sort of, I was slightly above. I was sort of tipping the glass a little bit on the level, slightly above. Anyway, not to worry. Okay, so I've got the menu for the Rocket, and it's got a picture of a rocket on the front of it. So very nice, sort of hand-drawn, modern art version of that. So as you know, the menu in here is absolutely mahoosive. And usually I use the app. It's much easier to get it on your phone. I mean, that's the tip. If you're coming to Wetherspoons, download the app, and then all you need is your table number, which is just behind here, and then you just put it in, put your table number in, pick what you want, order it. You don't have to go to the bar, you don't have to queue up, you don't have to do any of that. You basically just wait for everything to be delivered. So, and you get the receipt on your phone, and then you've got a full record of everything every time you've been to Wetherspoons. So it's really good. I'll definitely recommend the app. This really is just to demonstrate how much stuff is on here. There's a whole lot of breakfast on the back. There's tons of things. But actually, I'm not having anything off this menu today, because today I'm going for a special menu, the Christmas menu. So this is the launch for 2025. It's launching on the 12th of November to the 31st of December. So you can have Christmas lunch after Christmas. And the only day that Wetherspoons is not open is Christmas Day. So you have to find something else to do on Christmas Day if you come here every other day. Now there are tons of different meals on here. So we've got the traditional sliced turkey breast with winter vegetables. That's what I'm going for. You can have a big cheeseburger, brie and bacon burger, chicken and stuffing burger, mushroom and garlic burger, 11-inch chicken stuffing bacon and brie pizza. So there's lots of different Christmassy themed things. Then there's some deals, some children's deals, small plates, festive sharers, and then some ales as well. So Wetherspoons have really gone to town, and then some Prosecco and cocktails on the back. So they've really gone to town in terms of creating a special Christmas feel. And not surprising really, because Christmas is a very popular time to come to the pub. Pubs are always packed whenever you come at Christmas time. So they've done a good job. This is quite high market, feels quite high end, quite nice. So I've gone for the sliced turkey breast with winter vegetables, and that's described as 4 turkey breast slices, a pork, sage and onion stuffing, roasted chantenay carrots and parsnips, Maris Piper mash, 2 pigs in blankets, peas, cranberry sauce and gravy. Now, in terms of the price of this is actually significantly more expensive than most things on the Wetherspoons menu. So including a drink, because it's a meal deal, you get a drink, because when you come into the pub you're going to have a drink, so they include the drink in the cost of the meal. You can't buy the meal without a drink. So if you get a soft drink, it's $14.99. If you go for an alcoholic drink, it's £16.75. Now let me just grab the menu and I'll see how that compares to what else we've got on the menu here that would be comparable. So pub classics, I guess, would be somewhere in this vicinity. It's quite difficult to find something comparable on here. They don't really do a Sunday lunch, so I don't have a direct comparison. So, but if I was just picking something off the pub classics, so fish and chips, for example, in this venue, £12.79 with a soft drink, £14.55 with an alcoholic drink. So around about £2 more expensive than classic fish and chips. But I guess that's worthwhile because it's a special Christmas lunch. So I'm really looking forward to having it. It's basically, Christmas lunch is essentially just a roast dinner. So I'm having some turkey with lots of vegetables and gravy, which is very traditional in England and the UK on a Sunday. That's what a lot of people have. Every single Sunday, they have a roast dinner. So as well as fish and chips, roast dinners, I think, are typically British. So let's see how long it takes to come, and let's see what the food's like when it arrives. The food has now arrived, and it came within the 10 minutes, so I'm very happy. And here we are. And interestingly, this plate, because we like to talk about the plates, because usually they're quite in your face, a little bit gaudy. This plate actually doesn't look too bad. You can see on the outside, sort of quite conservative for a Wetherspoons pub. Got a bit of a chip in it, but that's fine. I can live with a chip. There's no chips in the actual meal, just on the plate. Okay, so what have we got here? Well, it's quite a big portion for starters, and I've got my turkey breast. So there are 4 slices of turkey here. My chantenay carrots, I've got 2 of those. Some parsnip, I've got 2 pieces of parsnip. I've got some more parsnip and carrots over here. Some peas, a good portion of mash, a ball of stuffing. And stuffing, if you're not familiar with it, is basically what you put inside chicken and turkey when you're roasting it, just to get a bit of extra flavour. It's usually made of sage and vegetable type things. It's like a dough that you put in and then it roasts up a little bit. And then I've got some cranberry sauce, and then I've got my pigs in blankets, which are traditional at Christmas time in England. So it's basically a sausage that's wrapped in bacon. So let's get started and see what it's all about. Okay, so I'll start off with a bit of turkey. It's hot, it's nice. It's very sweet actually. The gravy was really nice and sweet. The turkey's very thinly sliced, so it's certainly not been actually sliced. This is sort of processed turkey. You can see that all the slices are pretty much identical. So it hasn't been cut off the bone. This is processed turkey that have been made in a factory where they will get all of the turkey and then slice it mechanically. So not fresh turkey, so not my favourite. If I'm having a roast dinner, normally I would expect to have real turkey, real meat. This is definitely processed meat. Tastes okay. It's not as nice as real. Doesn't have the same texture. It sort of falls apart a little bit because it's processed. It gets reconstituted, or there's a lot of water added to it. So not my favourite. It's okay. It's okay. Let's try this Chantenay carrot. The Chantenay carrot is a type of carrot, sort of smaller than the big giant carrots that we quite often have in the UK. That's okay too, it's a bit soft. I prefer my carrots al dente. This one's sort of a little bit soggy. It's all right. Let's have a piece of parsnip. So this does actually look like a piece of real parsnip. That's good. That's been cooked well. That's a bit more al dente than the carrots. The carrots are a little bit soggy. Or some of these peas. Definitely frozen peas. They're okay. They pop in the mouth a little bit. Let's try the mash. See what the mash is like. Get a bit of gravy with the mash. The gravy is really nice. The gravy is quite sweet. The mash is a bit watery, a bit soft. It's not been made with real potatoes. This hasn't been mashed today. I would imagine this is made somewhere else. Very, very thin mashed potato, so very watery. Doesn't really taste the potato, so it's okay, but not my favourite. Let's try this stuffing. So let's have a look at it. It's quite thick, quite chunky. Make a bit of the gravy with that. The gravy, a bit of cranberry sauce with the stuffing, give it a bit of extra flavour. The stuffing's nice. Stuffing's nicer than the turkey, actually. I'm a fan of stuffing. We have it every Christmas, so usually make extra, and then you can have turkey and stuffing sandwiches afterwards. It's always quite a nice treat after you've had your main Christmas lunch. It's definitely my favourite thing so far. Let's try this pigs in blanket. So you can see that it's wrapped fully in bacon, this sausage. Let's try it. That's good. That's a winner. Slightly salty, salty bacon, I think. And then the sausage tastes good quality. It's only quite small. It's like a chipolata, but it's packing a punch in terms of the flavour. So in terms of my assessment of the individual portions here, the turkey, I've had better turkey. It's not my favourite type of turkey, processed turkey. The carrots aren't well cooked, they're not great. Parsnips are all right, the peas are okay. The mash is not good, not really like the mash. The stuffing's excellent. Pig in blanket, really good. Cranberry sauce, quite good. So let me crack on, finish the rest of this meal, and then I will speak to you about my overall assessment in terms of what I feel once I've eaten all of it. We'll talk about the price, we'll talk about the whole meal, and we'll give it a score. I'll see you then. Okay, so here I am at the end of my meal. I've now finished my Christmas lunch. That was actually the first Christmas lunch that I've had this year. What's my overall assessment? Well, let's go through the individual parts. I didn't finish all of it because I wasn't overwhelmed with some of it. So the turkey tasted a bit like the turkey that you get in a supermarket, where if you buy a packet of turkey that's pre-sliced, it tastes a bit like that rather than freshly cut turkey. So it was okay, but got a bit soggy with the gravy being on it, so it got a little bit soft and started to fall apart as I was eating through the 4 slices. I never actually finished the turkey. The carrots weren't particularly cooked well, so they were a bit soft. Didn't eat those. The parsnips were quite nice, quite like those. The peas were okay. The mash wasn't good, bit too watery, bit too thin. Not sure how it had been made, but I didn't want to eat all of that mash. The stuffing was excellent, really liked the stuffing, could have had more of that. I would have quite happily swapped my mashed potato for more stuffing, if that was an option. Unfortunately it wasn't, I just got what I got. The pigs in blankets were good, enjoyed them. They're a very Christmassy type. I mean, the stuffing and the pigs in blankets are basically very Christmassy flavours, so that was nice. That sort of gave me that Christmassy feel for the lunch. And the gravy was nice, that was quite sweet, really tasty. Cranberry sauce was a little bit over sweet, so it didn't taste like there was many cranberries in there, but it was quite nice. It was quite a nice accompaniment with some of the other meals. In terms of the size of the dish, it was massive. So if you're coming at lunchtime to have that, it'll certainly fill you up. There's a lot of food there. So what about the price and the value for money? Well, at £16.75, it's certainly the most expensive thing on the menu. Now, you do get a drink included in that, and as I've said in many videos before, when you're talking about a pint of Guinness like this, in places like Putney, where we're located, you could easily pay £7 for a pint of Guinness, maybe even more than that. So when you take that into account, that would make the food probably about 10, 9 or 10 pounds. So based on that, as a meal deal, it's not too bad, but it's still one of the most expensive things on the menu here, £16.75. So that raises the expectations. When you're paying top price on the menu, you want to make sure you get the best thing that you can have. In terms of my comparison to a lot of the other food I've eaten in Wetherspoons, I don't think it was as good. I've had a lot better food in Wetherspoons. I've been very surprised by some of it. A lot of it is really tasty. I think with the Christmas meal, they're obviously going to have to mass produce because there will be a lot of demand over the next month and a half for this sort of food. So a lot of people will be coming in to have a Christmas lunch. So they need to be able to mass cater. So clearly they have to be able to handle that. So things like, they're not going to be able to slice turkey fresh. They're going to have to give you it from processed form, and same with the mashed potato. It's going to come out of a big pot of mashed potato. So I guess it's sort of what you expect with mass catering. But overall, I was a little bit disappointed with the Christmas dinner. I think for the price, and my expectations have been raised over all of the other meals that I've had in Wetherspoons. I think I was expecting a bit more. So my overall score for today's Christmas lunch is 6 out of 10, which is not a bad score. It's okay. It's edible. I'm sure many people will really enjoy that lunch. But as you'll know, if it's less than 7.5, then I wouldn't come back, and I certainly wouldn't come back and have a Christmas lunch here. I would come back to this pub because it's a great location right on the Thames, and particularly in the summertime when the weather's good, you can sit outside and watch the boats going past, just watch everything happening. So it is a great location. This is a fantastic pub. So I'll certainly be back to the Rocket in Putney, but I won't be back for the Christmas lunch because it was a bit disappointing. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you again on the next video.